For the fifth strategy, we have fraction of a ratio. This strategy has dropped in its ranking from the 3rd place in 2024 to the 5th in 2025. This strategy was a common feature in the PSLE from 2020 to 2022. Although it did not appear in 2023's paper, it made a return last year. Despite the slight dip in its ranking, it remains highly useful, especially when dealing with changes expressed as fractions of a given ratio. Now let's explore how we can apply fraction of a ratio to solve this question from the PSLE paper in 2024. We'll start by writing out the ratios given. A is to B is 3 units is to 2 units. After which, Alan gave 20% of his cookies to Claire, who had none at first. So as per our usual practice, we'll convert the 20% to 1/5. So Alan gave 1/5 of his cookies to Claire, who had none at first. So we're going to write 0 units for Claire because she started with none at first. Then we will be able to apply fraction of a ratio to 1/5 of his cookies. His cookies refers to Alan's cookies, which is 3 units. So we will be able to get 1/5 of 3 units, and that gives you 0.6 units. This means Alan gave 0.6 units of his cookies to Claire. So Alan will minus 0.6 units while Claire plus increases by 0.6 units. So in the end, Alan is left with 2.4 units. Barry is still 2 units. And Claire will be 0.6 units in the end. In part A, the question wants you to find the ratio of Alan's to Barry's to Claire's cookies after Alan had given Claire the cookies. So this is the ratio in the end for the 3 of them. Let's make the decimals become a whole number. We can multiply each of them by 10 to get 24 units is to 20 units is to 6 units. Noting that all those numbers here are even numbers, we will be able to simplify them by dividing by 2 throughout. And that gives us 12 units is to 10 units is to 3 units. So the answer for part A will be 12 is to 10 is to 3. For part B, Barry gave some of his cookies to Claire. As a result, 26% of the cookies in the box were given to Claire. So let's convert the 26% to a fraction, and that gives us 13 out of 50. 26% of the cookies in the box refers to the total number of cookies in the box at first, which can be found by looking at our initial ratio here. So let's indicate the total at first. 3 units plus 2 units, and that gives us 5 units. 13 out of 50 of the cookies in the box will mean that we need to find 13 out of 50 of 5 units. That works out to be 1.3 units. So it means that 1.3 units is the total cookies given to Claire. Remember, in part A, Alan gave 1/5 of his cookies to Claire, and we found out that 1/5 of his cookies is equivalent to 0.6 units. So we can indicate here, Alan gave 0.6 units to Claire. Since the total number of units given to Claire was 1.3 units, we will be able to find out how many units Barry had given to Claire by using 1.3 units to subtract 0.6 units, and that gives us 0.7 units. The question wants you to find what fraction of Barry's cookies were given to Claire. Let's circle the keywords fraction of Barry's cookies given to Claire. 0.7 units of Barry's cookies were given to Claire, so that will be the numerator. Out of Barry's cookies at first, which was 2 units, if we key this value into the calculator, we will get our final answer to be 7 out of 20. So the answer to part B is 7 out of 20 of Barry's cookies were given to Claire.